I built a boring business that generates $25,000 a month, and you can do it too. And it's perfect for creators and freelancers who are tired of the feast or famine cycle that you experience every month. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys what this boring business is, how this boring business works, and why boring businesses win. And hell, I might even show you guys how to copy it. Maybe. Probably. What's up? My name is Matt Maniego. I've been creating content since 2010. And in the last 2 years, I've been able to develop a system that has helped me generate $25,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. And I don't even shoot or edit any of the content at all. When I first got into the content creation business, I didn't get into it because it was boring. It was actually really fun. Even one of my first jobs, I was able to shoot with one of my favorite rappers, Common. And then I got into shooting basketball and professional sports. And obviously, I'm a very big Warriors fan, and I was able to help document their championship run. Not over yet, not until Steph is out. Okay, guys? Side note, here's how our boring business works. We film content once a month or once a week, or the client sends it to us once a month or once a week. My VAs manage the files, prep briefs, and coordinate with our video editors. The editors work night and day because they're in the Philippines. So we have half of them working Philippines time and the other half working US time. And our post-production manager manages everything in between. That's checking if the edits are right, checking for mistakes, or, just spot checking the videos to make sure that they're good before it's sent to the client. And then final videos are delivered to the client via a link, or it's uploaded to their YouTube channel, or it's uploaded to the platform that they choose. Now, we charge a minimum of $2,500 a month per client. We pay our editors based on volume, and I have my virtual assistants on a monthly retainer. And the result is I don't touch most of the work anymore, but I do review and spot check the work to keep things moving. As a content creator, I didn't know that what I really wanted was consistency. I think I was too enamored by the type of content that we were making for the brands that we were working with. We had custom content for every client, for every campaign that they might have. It was a hustle that was very unsustainable. And I didn't realize it until I started to burn out. But boring is scalable. Like, I can onboard clients without adding stress. And in fact, I don't really onboard a lot of clients anymore because I have time to actually talk to the clients now about their strategy and their content so that we can show them how we can help in that strategy, right? It's not about creating custom content every time that we're out there shooting. I can actually take weekends off. In fact, I work about less than 10 hours a week. And so I have a lot of time to be able to spend time with those clients and have time to work out and focus on my health. And the most importantly, I have more time to be able to be with my family. On top of that, I can pay my team well and still keep really healthy margins. But it's been really, really exciting. Now, that's been a double-edged sword because I've been conditioned to thinking that the exciting jobs and the exciting type of work is what's going to generate the revenue. And it has. But it wasn't until the last 2 years where I realized that that type of work needed me in every part of the business. It kind of just kept going, and without me realizing where it would stop or if it would ever end. Case in point, I don't know if Steph Curry is going to be retiring anytime soon. At this rate, he's still really good at his age. But that should not blind me to the fact that this run could eventually end. And that's one of the reasons why I came to the realization that I needed to change the way I do my business. So I see the writings on the wall. It has to change. And change is inevitable. And so that's helped me see, even in my own business, that I also need to change with the times. How will my business be able to adapt in the post-Steph Curry era, if and when it happens? How do we do this? The only way I've been creating content and generating revenue has been directly through sports and the pinnacle of these Warriors runs. Obviously, that's led to a few other relationships that are basketball adjacent, some working with some of the biggest brands that the Warriors work with, and even the WNBA team that has just arrived here, the Golden State Valkyries. But how do I adjust the way I do business so that I'm not always in the business? And so over the last 2 years, I've been able to create a system that's allowed me to be able to spend less time in the business while generating the same amount of revenue, if not more. It's only a matter of time till this Warriors run is over, and maybe their needs will change in the future. Maybe not, but I want to be prepared for that. So over the last 2 years, I've been able to create a system that at least gives me the perception that my business will be okay in a post-Steph Curry world. And that might be boring, and that's okay, because boring prints money, man. The Warriors is like one of the biggest brands in the world, and I've been so blessed to be able to work with them. And a lot of my career has been centered around creating content for this huge brand. And not to say that I don't want to do it anymore. I love creating content for them. In fact, creating content and sports are like my two most favorite things before I had kids. Now my kids, I love them more than doing this, but combining those two things was like a match made in heaven. I was able to shoot what I loved and I loved what I shot, right? And so if you're fortunate enough to be able to have that, that's great. And I applaud you for that, but that doesn't last forever. Nor do you want it to be. I mean, unless you want to be in it forever, that's all good. Right. But for me, my priorities have changed since I've had kids, and also, understanding where I am in my life and where I want to be in the next 20 years. I have to understand that my business mentality has to change. I guess what I want to say is like this realization has helped me kind of understand the need to change. And that's through creating a boring business. I have to understand that it's not always going to be exciting, and that's okay because it's going to be exciting in other aspects of my life, right? A boring business supports your exciting life. And when I say boring, I don't mean like boring in the sense that I'm never going to shoot sports ever again. No. When I say boring, I mean creating revenue in a way that is boring. So it's no longer project to project based. I used to just shoot on day rates, making between $1,200, $1,500 a day on top of charging for equipment, all these different things. And that was very exciting, and it was a lot of up and down kind of moments, and it's not sustainable. What I mean by boring is putting clients on monthly retainers, having SOPs that you could follow every day, creating clear roles for my team and not just having a group of people kind of figure it out as jobs come in. I mean, sometimes that's like startup life, right? Like it always felt like every day it was a startup for the last 15 years. We were basically reinventing the wheel every time we had a new project. That's what I mean by having a boring business. I'm not saying that we're not going to be doing that stuff. That production life is fun. It's really, really fun. But what I am saying is that it's important to also supplement that with something that's predictable, that's something that's stable, something that doesn't go up and down in revenue every month. I remember before implementing this system, we would have a dry season between January through March where we weren't making any money at all. Obviously, the money between, April through December would make up for that, but it still was not consistent. Basically, we were running around with our heads cut off, right? Just trying to figure things out on the fly. And creating a boring business settles that down. It's important to have like a boring business because it keeps you sane. It helps you appreciate these crazy times when big productions do happen. I know, boring is boring, but boring buys freedom, boring wins long term, and boring pays the bills, even if nobody likes your last post. So if you want to build a boring business like me, go ahead and download the content automation engine down below. It's the exact blueprint that I use to have a boring business. It walks you through your team members, where to find them, team roles. It has SOP templates, pricing structures, the exact workflow that I used on a daily basis. Like I said, my business has to be ready for a post-Steph Curry era. So what does that look like for you? Stop chasing the shiny. The shiny is fine, it'll come. But when it does, you need to make sure you have a system that can sustain it. This is your sign to build something boring and make it brilliant. Download the guide, steal the system, and start building a business that runs without you. So if you want to get a head start on this and hire your first video editor, click on this next video because it's coming up right now.